return duties. Head coach Mike O'Shea says that's going to be one guy in the regular season. We'll see if they can find that guy tonight. Campbell Fair left to right with the opening kickoff. It'll be Chris Smith racing up to get it. It goes directly out of bounds, and no return possibility for the Bombers on the illegal kickoff, and the offense will take the field with Terry Wilson, the 26-year-old rookie from New Mexico, leading the way. Wilson 10 of 15 against Saskatchewan after a slow start, ended up looking pretty good.
Yeah, he got more comfortable, right, as the game went on, and that was the progression you want to see in a guy in his initial exposure to Canadian Football League quarterbacking. So we saw some ill-advised decisions early in that game, but he improved as he went along. And the thing that jumped off the page for me about Terry Wilson was his ability to be accurate while throwing on the run and at top speed. That's something that Zach Claris does better than anybody in this league.
The opening kickoff is, as always, brought to you by Harvest Honda. It was an illegal kickoff out of bounds. The Bombers' drive will go 1st and 10 from their own 50-yard line. We will let you know who's in and who's out along the way. Kevin Clercius, their first draft pick from this year in the second round. The wide receiver to the right-hand side. Myron Mitchell in the slot there, comes across the formation. Wilson pulls it, drops off to Mitchell in the flat at 55, and he's into Calgary territory out about the 51-yard line. Myron Mitchell with the opening catch of the game.
Keep it short, keep it simple, get it into a rhythm, and that's exactly what they did on first down here, falling about a yard short of a new set of downs, but a little flow out to the left side and an easy pass with motion there for almost a first down.
Some confusion as to who's in and who's out in the jumbo package. Michael Vlahoyanis thought he was in. He's not. Maybe Ethan Calra's the one who's not supposed to be in. Either way, under center goes Wilson. He is hit quickly, and he does not get to the 50-yard line without a very generous spot. They're going to mark him short as one of the stamps came flying over the top.
Yeah, that was not a great surge by the guys up front, and it just shows you how short yardage quarterbacking is a very specialized skill set here, right? Terry Wilson probably does not have the reps, and they're going to go for it again on third down, hopefully much better effort.
Micah Tights had the tackle there in the Adam Big Hill over the top style. Wilson again pushing forward, and he might get the 50. He doesn't get far past it, and this won't be Terry Wilson's job to do in the regular season, but neither he nor the offensive line had much push. It is enough for a Blue Bombers first down for Manitoba Teachers Society, working to help your kids achieve their goals.
Just not getting low enough, right? You got an offensive line. It's, these guys are bearing down on, 4-point stances, getting real low, trying to get at the level of the defensive line. And if you're on a plane above that, it's going to be hard to convert.
Ontario Wilson, the wide receiver to the left, head up with DeMario Houston. Fake the handoff, throw it, it's complete to Josh Johnson. He's across the 40. He took a whack from Kobe Williams across the 40. But Josh Johnson, first-year man from Tulsa, with a first down.
A little bit of play action there. Nice ball fake, and just surveying through, finds his intended target, receiver on the left side, just around the numbers, and a nifty little move. He darts in a little bit of yards after the catch, and an easy first down.
To the Calgary 37-yard line, 4 receivers to the right-hand side. Calgary puts a bunch on the line of scrimmage. They'll rush 7. Wilson has to get rid of it. Caught by Mitchell across the middle, and a good tackle from Kobe Williams at the 35-yard line. Wilson got it out on the hot read for a gain of 2.
And he didn't panic. I think that's the best thing about that play is he knew he was going to take a shot, and he does get a hit, and he does go down, but it didn't take his vision off of where he was going with the football. He knew where to locate and target the ball, and minimal pickup, but a nice job with poise by Terry Wilson in the pocket.
3 for 3 for Wilson so far. It'll be 2nd and 8, 4-man rush. Wilson forced to scramble out to his left-hand side, avoids the end, keeps his feet, but he will not. He's going to be sacked at the 48-yard line. Pulled down by Clarence Hicks, the rookie from Texas San Antonio, for a huge loss.
Yeah, that's a massive loss. Terry Wilson kind of overestimating his ability to scramble there. He manages to break contain. He gets around the end, but you get guys coming downhill, and he had an opportunity, I think, to get rid of that football. Instead, he takes a massive tackle for loss and a sack. What is that, a good 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage there, so punting situation.
Yeah, from a field goal situation to a Jamison Sheehan punt from the Calgary 47 yard line. Sheehan, little end-over-end kick looking for the left sideline, stroked it directly out of bounds, and where will they say? Because if it goes out before the 15, this is going to be an illegal punt against the Stampeders. They'll say, against the Bombers. They call it the 16, and the Stamps will take the ball. When we return, 11:32 to go in the first quarter, no score. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680. CJ along the way. Two tight ends. This will be a run play straight up the middle, banged into Taylor Upshaw, who seemed to get good penetration, and Dedrick Mills has little gain.
Yeah, they went double tight there, right? So that's very much a heavy package for a run game. Calgary wanting to change their style and philosophy of offensive football, get a little more physical, and that's a nice job by Taylor Upshaw, just taking one of those blockers and forcing the running back to redirect in between the tackles.
Johnny Patrician, linebacker, comes on for a passing down at 2nd and 9. Calgary from their own 27-yard line. 3 receivers to Mayer's left. 3-man rush for the Bombers. Flag down pre-snap. Mayer dumps it out wide. Caught at the 30. Tackle missed. Second tackle missed. As Tyson Middlemost gets very close to the sticks. Looks like it'll be maybe a yard or two short, pending the flag.
Procedure. It looks like it was a hard count by Jake Mayer there, and I think one of his own guys jumped. I thought Chauncey Rivers might have entered the neutral zone, but looks like a procedure call against the starting offense. Jake Mayer with the hard count. That's supposed to trump the defensive line. It's supposed to make them cause error, not your own Hoggies up front.
Offside. Calgary, number 85. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 3rd down.
They ding Jalen Philpott with the offside. Chauncey Rivers was trying to figure out, hey, do we want to accept the penalty or not? Something they had maybe didn't work a ton on in preseason. They eventually figured it out. Calgary's in 3rd and 3, so they're going to have Cody Grace punt. And we will get a chance to look at Chris Smith. That appears to be down as the returner, standing at his own 21-yard line. Grace, big, high, wobbling punt out to the right-hand side. It bounces, and Smith watches it go out of bounds. 2 return attempts and 0 return opportunities for the Bombers so far. So we're no closer on that key to the game.
Hard to make the job as a returner on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers if no one actually gets to return the football, unfortunately. So Calgary not participating, playing nicely with the evaluation attempts by the Blue Bombers.
Today's game brought to you by Play Now, Bet on Manitoba. Mike O'Shea joked that maybe I'll ask Dickey to just punt on every drive so we can get a look at this. Not helping out so far is the Stampeders head coach, Dave Dickinson. Wilson in shotgun, hands it off. It'll be Smith. He is hit in the backfield and down immediately. Wrestled from behind by number 93, Charles Wiley.
Well, it's a 3-man front from Calgary, so that invites running the football. And I'm trying to see if he just runs around the offensive tackle, closes down his pursuit, and makes that tackle. That's pretty impressive when you've got 5-on-3 there up front and limiting the rush attack to no gain.
2nd and 10 for the Bombers from their own 39-yard line. Just under 9.5 to go here in the first quarter. 3 receivers left. 5-man rush. Wilson throws right into it. It is complete across the middle to Kevin Clercius. He is knocked in to pull down. Adam Konar in the tackle at the 44. Going to be 3rd and 5 for the Bombers.
Yeah, it looks like Calgary kind of baited the Winnipeg Blue Bombers into that throw there. They brought 6 on that rush, 2 guys added, and they just let everything. They invited the quarterback to make the completion in front of their second level. Guys just come downhill and make the tackle easily, and forcing the Bombers in a punting situation.
Demetrius Ford and Tyreek McGee, the gunners in this punt situation. If you can make the job on special teams, you get a job. Jamison Sheehan, high punt. This one fielded at the 22-yard line outside the numbers. And quickly, Marquise Bridges in on the tackle. Jeremiah Gemmel as well at the 29-yard line, and Winnipeg's defense returns. When we do, 8:35 to go in the first quarter, 0-0 the score. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football at 680 CJOB. Out for the Bombers defense. Calgary 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. Fullback in there, and then we'll hand it off to Dedrick Mills. Not much running room for him. Marquise Bridges helped finish it off. Devin Adams in on the tackle for a gain of 1 maybe 1.5.
That's 2 plays in a row. Some very good run defense by an unheralded and largely unnameable front seven here being put out by the Bombers. These guys are doing the job, and those are some pretty high name brand players they're going up against.
Yeah, Calgary brought its entire starting offensive line except for center Sean McEwen. Much of their starting offense as well. 7-man rush for the Bombers. Pressure. Mayer just tosses this one up for a wide open and completed 35-30 and down deep into Winnipeg territory. Cam Eccles got around Tyreek McGee for a massive gain.
Yeah, I'm not sure if McGee got caught looking back or not, but Jake Mayer had to get rid of that ball in a hurry. It was an all-out blitz by the Winnipeg Blue Bomber defense, and he just lofts it up. He puts as much air under this football as he can. It's a running race, and I really think Tyreek McGee gets caught looking back at the quarterback, and he loses a receiver a couple steps behind him there for a massive pickup into the score zone.
Yeah, Cam Eccles, 190 pounds out of Western Kentucky with a big gain. Calgary 1st and 10 from the Winnipeg 26-yard line. Mayer hands this one off. Mills around the corner, broke the first tackle through Marquise Bridges, but again, this Bombers defense stacks him up. He doesn't even get to the 25-yard line, so again, almost no gain.
Stout against the run. You have to love that against these Calgary stampeding starting offensive linemen and running backs, trying to get the game going on the ground here, and these Bomber rookie consortium are full value for it right now. Super stout against the run in this game. Another 2nd and long situation.
Officially 53 yards on the Cam Eccles catch. He is the wide receiver to the right for 2nd and 10 from the Bombers 26. They show 5, and they will rush 5 players. Screen pass caught by Mills, 25, broke a tackle, 20, flagged down in the area of holding. Mills inside the 5 and down to the 2-yard line. However, holding is the call against the Calgary Stampeders, and this will come back.
A super smart play call by the Calgary Stampeders, letting all that pressure come up the field and dumping a little screen over the top.
Gained. Holding. Calgary, number 63, 10-yard foul. Replay, 2nd down.
Very poor execution, though, and they blow it there. That was a massive pickup, threatening to score there, and just a holding call brings it all back, all for naught for Calgary.
The center, Rodeem Brown, called for the hold. They will walk this one back, and it will now be 2nd and 20 with the ball on the Winnipeg 36-yard line.
They caught the Bombers being over-aggressive last snap. Let's see what they dial up this time.
They put 4 on the line of scrimmage to the Bombers. 5 receivers out for the Stampeders. 4 men will rush, and they will just hand a little draw play to Levante Bellamy. Broke a tackle across the 25 down to about the 22-yard line. That's good yards gained, but it sets him up for a slightly shorter field goal from Campbell Fair.
Yeah, very safe, high percentage play call there. 2nd and unattainable. Why not just have a little running back draw play, a little delay handoff straight down Main Street, and they're just setting themselves up for an easier field goal kick.
Fair, 2nd-year kicker out of Ottawa. Rene Paredes is going to be the Stampeders kicker for the umpteenth straight year. Just turned 39, but still has it going. Fair strokes it up, and it is good with 5:30 to go in the first quarter. It's now Calgary 3 and the Bombers no score. We will break. Back to see the Bombers offense when we return. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. Continue. Christian O'Mell is on the sideline. We talked about guys filling spots on the starting offense and defense. Tyrell Ford will be one of them. You had a chance to talk to him.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a unique spot tonight here as one of the guys that's played for this team before, unlike most of the players on the field tonight. Kind of, getting this as a way to shake off the rust, get back into the system, but also as a bit of a teacher to some degree with some of the younger players. However, he also acknowledged that a lot of the players that are going to be part of this team too are on the sideline here tonight. There were a lot of teachers down here tonight.
There sure are. Campbell Fair with a kickoff. Bombers will get a chance to return this. It's Aaron Cruikshank from his own 11-yard line. Straight upfield, 20, 25, bending to the right, 30, hit, and he is down under the tackle of Titus Walsh. There's a return for the Bombers. Aaron Cruikshank gets it, and the Bombers offense is back on the field with 5:24 to go here in the first quarter.
I think you look with your returner, I think you look for them to hit that hole full speed, right? And he kind of breaks it down as he anticipates that scrum and tries to sift his way through. I always like to have those returners that just pick a spot and just try to bust through it at top speed.
And that was Janarian Grant, right? That guy did not care that he was 157 pounds. Oh, you might hit me? I'm going to run through you. 4 receivers to the right for 1st and 10. Wilson under a 7-man rush. Loft this one up, jump ball, and faded out of bounds. Incomplete, intended for Carrick Wheatfall at the Calgary 45.
3-man front there by Calgary. They added 2 to it to get a little bit of heat and pressure on Terry Wilson. He throws it up, but no chance for the receiver to make a play on that as the ball goes out of bounds. As he gets, Terry Wilson just gets smacked again as he releases that football.
Yeah, a lot more blitzing than I want to see in preseason, honestly, but the opposing team has to try their stuff as well. 2nd and 10. Bombers from their own 32. This a 4-man rush. Wilson has time, dumps it off across the Mitchell. Mitchell caught it, then bobbled it, and it's on the ground. I don't know that they're going to rule this a catch, but they're going to let them fight for it. Calgary is saying they have the football, but is this a completion and a fumble or just a straight incomplete?
It's a decent ball by Terry Wilson, a little short of the first down marker, coming across the middle.
That's incomplete.
Yeah, he doesn't have possession of that ball at any time, I don't think. He tries to put it away, but it's coming out.
They rule it a turnover on the field, a fumble. They're going to, you can see the head official, Mike Siona.
Is the command center working in the preseason?
Yeah, they will be. Oh, they'll be doing 3 games at the moment. I believe 3 are going, and the 4th one starts later.
After automatic review by the command center, the ruling on the field is overturned. It is an incomplete pass. Second.
You got to be able to make an athletic move after you have possession. He never really had possession. He was trying to put the ball away, but he never had that ball secured in his hand, so that's the right call. CFL's batting 1,000% tonight on overturning, so that's a promising start.
I'm kind of sad we have nothing.
Pass brings up 3rd down. 3rd down.
I'm kind of sad we have nothing to complain about on that one.
We will.
I'm looking forward to ripping on the league and the officials. But
stay tuned.
That one was good. Mitchell's got to secure that football. There's no reason he shouldn't have caught that football, and should have made the catch.
Yeah, and he caught about a couple yards short of the first down marker, and he had enough velocity going there. He might have been able to stretch out for that, but
either way, Jamison Sheehan getting all the work. Sheehan with his 3rd punt already. Had one go out of bounds for an illegal punt. He had one return. We'll see what he has for number 3. As McGee and Ford again, the Gunners on this one. High up. This will be on the numbers for Peyton Logan. Inside the numbers, in fact, at the 30. First man down is Demetrius Ford, and he's got him. Helped finish off by Jeremiah Gemmel. A good coverage from the Bombers, something we didn't say a ton last season, but good on that play. 4:20 to go in the first quarter. Bombers down 3-0. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. Dedrick Mills, the running back, tight end to the left-hand side. Fake the handoff. Mayer in the pocket looking for the check down. Not there. He will dump it off into the flat to the fullback at the 38-40. Couple of Bombers in pursuit, and Trey Thomas will throw him out of bounds. That one complete to Lucas Robertson, the big fullback out of UBC.
Yeah, Robertson kind of just stumbles out into the flat. Nobody really picks him up until they see the ball going to him, and then it's a struggle to bring him down. He's a very large player, picks up about 9 on that, so kind of dropped in coverage there, and they regroup and track him down.
Mayer goes off. Logan Bonner comes on for the short yardage play, 2nd and 1 from the Calgary 44-yard line. Bonner waits, picks his spot, and he is across the line. Thomas trying to pull him back and get that ball loose, but Bonner, that'll be good enough for a Calgary first down. Today's game brought to you by Play Now, Bet on Blue.
Bonner gets a snap there and literally just waits on the line of scrimmage for his offensive line to clear the way for him, and then he slips off to the right side, picks up the first down easily.
We end up giving a ton of credit. I end up tracking, which quarterback was the best in sneaks. I wonder how much it really has to do with the quarterback as opposed to wait for the bodies to go, pick the spot behind the massive men moving the other massive men, and let's go. It's Mills run on the left-hand side. He is hit, spins off it to the 50-yard line. First contact from halfback Marquise Bridges holds him to a gain of about 4.
Once again, this depth defensive group doing a stout job against the run. They are full value for coming downhill and understanding their run responsibilities, keeping the integrity of the run gaps, and really limiting Calgary on the ground so far, trying to be two-dimensional.
Dedrick Mills, 4 carries for 6 yards thus far. 2nd and 6, Stamps from their own 50-yard line. Bombers put 4 on the line of scrimmage. They will rush 4. Mayer, pressure off his backside, throws up on the corner route for Markin Michel, and through his hands and incomplete at the Bomber 25-yard line. Michel, it would have been a tough catch, but a makeable one, and it's 3rd down, Stamps.
Yeah, that was just a blown play by the receiver down the field, but Chauncey Rivers, an outstanding pass rush off the right edge. He's picking up just where he left off. Very impressive speed rush coming off that right side, turning the corner, just using his jets to beat the offensive tackle, getting in on Jake Mayer just a fraction of a second too late.
Punt. Cody Grace fires this one up into the sky, taken at the 12-yard line, and here goes Van, and he is brought down by the second man down, Micah Tights with the tackle. Josh Van on the punt return, not much room for him, and the Bombers will start deep in their own end, 1st and 10. Terry Wilson back in there, 4 for 6 for 28 yards. Completions thus far, 3 of them to Myron Mitchell. Josh Johnson and Kevin Clorsius with the other receptions thus far.
You have to wonder with the backup quarterback, Darren Granger, being in the city and in camp for 6 days. I mean, how much time is Terry Wilson going to get? He might get, 3/4 of this game, I would expect.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. 5-receiver set, little handoff. Across the 16-yard line, maybe the 17. I'm guessing that was Chris Brown. And I'm going to keep calling him Chris Brown, and I don't entirely know why. Chris Smith. I'm not a big fan of Chris Brown, the musician. And it is Smith with the carry for a couple. Not a lot going in the run game for either team thus far in this one. 2nd and 8. Winnipeg from its own 16-yard line. 3 receivers into the right. Josh Johnson, the receiver to left. Blitz coming from Calgary. They'll rush 7. Throw quickly, and it's caught by Ontario Wilson, who is smacked immediately. The coverage from Kenyon Reed, and it'll be 3rd down, Bombers.
There's just no deep or vertical threat for the Bombers on those blitzes, right? 7-man rush, and Terry Wilson's just in a hurry to get rid of that football, but Calgary's just allowing him to make the connection underneath and just coming downhill and tackling. So there's no one threatening or trying to stretch the field with some sort of a slant or a vertical.
It is 3rd and 2 for the Bombers. They were waiting to see the spot before they decided who to send out. It will be the punt team on what may well be the final play here of the first quarter from Princess Auto Stadium. Bombers down 3-0 and not much moving so far. Low snap. Sheehan picks it up and hammers this one. Middle of the field, it's Logan at his own 39-yard line. Oh, actually, another returner. Flag down in the area of holding, 45, 50. This will be a big return, but into Calgary territory. Sheehan forces the returner out of bounds. However, the flag may well go in the Bombers' favor. The penalty will mean
they're coming back.
Yeah, Calgary taking its offense back far.
The big guys don't run anywhere unnecessarily, right?
So during the return, holding. Calgary, number 43, will apply that 10-yard penalty from the 40-yard line. That's the end of the quarter.
Bentley Sanders on the return. Kenyon Reed with the hold. 15 minutes in the books. Bombers trailing 3-0 second quarter when we return. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. Fires across the middle. That one knocked down and incomplete. Looks like Jeremiah Gemmel had the read on that, and he's slapping himself for not getting what would have been a very difficult interception.
Jeremiah figures out that passing lane there and just intersects it, puts himself up, skies up for that ball. And Matt Schultz did not see him whatsoever, almost pulls off what would have been a supremely athletic interception.
The kind of plays that pop and Get you on the radar because cuts are coming tomorrow. 2nd and 10 Stampeders. 3 receivers right. Blitz coming off the right edge. This one lofted on the little out and knocked away. Jake Kelly gets over on Mark and Michelle, and that one should have been completed. But Kelly turns it away, and it's 3rd down.
Jake Kelly just goes up and fights for that football. So it's literally a jump ball just outside the numbers. They both go up with 2 hands, and that's a win for the Bomber secondary because falls incomplete. So nice job being aggressive, trying to high point that football and breaking it up.
A better throw from Schultz, one that didn't hang his receiver inside would have been good. A good play from Kelly. Man, Cody Grace can punt the ball high. My goodness. This will be Smith from the 28-yard line with a block in front. He gets whacked and turned back almost immediately. Maybe a little tentative into the return. And not much space for him. Bombers will go 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line.
When they talk about losing a football in the lights, you look at the top of the stadium, how high those lights are. Well, that's exactly where that punt was. The apex of that punt was up there. That's how players can lose a visual on a punt like that because that thing was freaking 100 feet high in the air.
Cody Grace has a heck of a leg, part of the Australian punter revolution that's taken over the Canadian Football League. 5-receiver set as Wilson continues at quarterback. 1st and 10, strokes it high and incomplete. Looking for Ontario Wilson on an in-breaking route, but that ball was off target.
Yeah, throwing in double coverage as well. So just a little hook route. It looks like there settles down. 2 guys sniff it out or breaking on that football. Just no chance, and he sails it over the top of his intended target.
Zach Collaros is an incredible quarterback at 2nd and long. What could Terry Wilson do in a 2nd and long situation for their own 33? Just into the 2nd quarter here. Bombers trailing 3-0. 4-man rush from the Stamps. Quarterback draw with Wilson. 35. Pushing forward. 40. Needs the 43 for the 1st down. So he's going to come up a couple yards short. Excuse me, that's Darren Granger in at quarterback, number 9. A guy who led Georgia State in rushing in 2022 and provides that element for the Bombers.
Yeah, and they've just really, in this 1st quarter and a little bit here in the 2nd, they've been unable to convert any 2nd and long situations in this game. It's just been all underneath, and the Calgary Stampeders have rallied and made tackles, but equally as alarming, the 1st team unit for the Calgary Stampeders really accomplished very little with Jake Mayer in at the game. That's got to be worrisome.
Jamison Sheehan nuked this punt. Flag down in the area of no yards, and the returner for the Stampeders is down under a nice tackle. Michael Ayers is in on the tackle. Mike Benson was down there as well, but someone got in a little too close.
No yards. Winnipeg, number 2.
I'm surprised that Dave Dickinson actually saw enough of Jake Mayer and his starting offense to, start making changes and inserting other quarterbacks into the game, because when you bring your roster like that on the road, especially for a 2nd preseason game, you want to get those guys going, some positivity, some gelling, some guys getting on the same page.
Fouls on the play. No yards. Calgary. Number 4. No, there's an illegal block. Calgary, number 43, no yards. Winnipeg, number 2. Will balance those fouls from the point possession was gained. It will be 1st down.
Calgary really had their hands full with these depth players on defense from the Bombers, and already starting to insert different players in the lineup.
Yeah, they must have had this as their plan, and to see Jake Mayer go 4 of 5 for 92 sounds good, but one of those was a 53-yard pass. It wasn't the best performance.
They weren't threatening.
Very much so. It is Schultz at quarterback, and he will hand this one off. It's Dedrick Mills, and again, stacked up very quickly. He gets across the 25. Line of scrimmage was the 26, and I'm not even sure he got back there. Look at this Bombers run defense.
Yeah, well, if you got an open spot at defensive tackle, this is a way to get noticed right here, right? Being keeping the interior, the middle of that defense strong against the run, not getting walled off, not getting gashed on 1st down. That makes an impression. It goes a long way when you're reviewing the defensive line tape.
Defensive lineman comes off. Extra linebacker comes on. 2nd and 10, Calgary from their own 26. 3 receivers to Schultz's left. He's looking to his right. Gunning this one across the middle. Mark and Michelle at the 45. He's got the catch and the 1st down. brought down by Trayvon Fuller, but Markin Michel, the veteran, gets the Calgary first down.
This time the Bombers elect to rush only 3 and drop 9 into coverage. A lot of zone, and Michel able to find the soft spot coming across. And that's a pretty decent pickup for Calgary.
Taylor Upshot, Chauncey Rivers are the ends. Devin Adams and Kyle Sampson are the tackles. A lot of work for these 2 defensive ends in this game. They only brought 3 for this one. Dedrick Mills, big hole, 55. He's into Winnipeg territory across the 50 down to about the 48-yard line before he is smacked. Dedrick Mills was the reason they let Kadeem Carey go in the offseason, and he produced on that one.
Yeah, Mills this time a little more patient. He takes the handoff, and he waits for that hole right down the middle to just open up. And this time they got sealed. The 2 interior guys got walled off, and that A-gap just opened up.
The Winnipeg 47-yard line, Calgary 1st and 10. Receivers moving everywhere. Tight end to the left-hand side. Fake the run. Schultz on a roll where he can do some damage. It's Michel on the outbreaking route at the Winnipeg 27-yard line. He's forced out by Demetrius Ford. And Markin Michel with another play and another Calgary first down.
That's one of the better plays that Calgary has executed so far in this game. Little play action fake there, rolling out to your right side, running, evading the edge defender, and throwing a strike down the field for another first down.
All the first downs in the game for Manitoba Teachers Society, working to help your kids achieve their goals. 27-yard line of the Bombers, 1st and 10 Stamps. 10 to go here in the second quarter. Bombers showing blitz. They'll rush 5. Schultz standing in there, gunning the out route for Markin Michel. Had to lead him a little bit. Michel then lost his feet, incomplete under the coverage of Tyreek McGee.
McGee's just playing a little too far off, I think, on that crossing route going out of bounds. He's a couple steps behind in the trail technique and needs to be a little more aggressive, I think, playing a little too soft on the edge.
Michel got 2 hands on that, but it's out in front of him and kind of awkward. I gotta get why he didn't catch that. It's good news for the Bombers because the Stamps are now 2nd and 10 for the Winnipeg 27-yard line. Tanner Schmeckel in there at defensive tackle. 5-man rush. Schultz standing in there, lofting it up on the end zone for Bellamy! And it's incomplete. Michael Ayers in coverage. Bellamy had a step and looked like he might have had that ball, but can't make the catch.
And Schultz gets hit just as he's releasing that football. I love that blitz from another level. They have 4 rushers up front, and then they delay the linebacker that comes late down Main Street through the A-gap, gets a shot in on Schultz, and he might have been the difference as to why that was not a touchdown.
Johnny Patrician was the blitzer, and Bellamy had both hands on that and should have caught it for the touchdown. Instead, Campbell Fair, 34-yard field goal is up, and it is good with 9:21 remaining in the second quarter. It's now Calgary 6 and Winnipeg no score. We will break Bombers offense when we return. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football. 680 CJLB. I love it. Chris Smith fields the kickoff from his own 9-yard line. 20, 25, 30. Tries to cut back. Made 2 men miss. Spins off a tackle at the 32-yard line where the Winnipeg offense will resume when we return. 9:13 to go in the second. Bombers down 6-0. Princess Auto Blue Bomber football at 680 CJOB. 6-0. Chris Smith, the 23-yard kickoff return. The Bombers 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line with Darren Granger, the 23-year-old from Georgia State, at quarterback. A little blitz coming. They'll jet sweep this one to Johnson.
Oh.
Hit immediately in the backfield at the 30-yard line. Bentley Sanders, the rookie, coming up to make an impact, let's say.
Bentley Sanders just took off on a sprint. He did a little bit of film work. You could tell he saw exactly what was happening with that jet sweep and just comes down, cuts it off. If you're coming at that velocity, you just catch a piece of that ball carrier and you knock him down for a loss of 2.
2nd and 12, Bombers from the 30-yard line. What can they do? They'll put Kevin Sklercius out wide to the left. Johnson and Mitchell in the slot. 5-man rush from Calgary. Granger dumps it off. It's Johnson over the middle at 35, trying to evade a tackler. Does 40. Steps out of bounds at the Winnipeg 43-yard line. Josh Johnson lost a couple yards on that one. Got them all back. And a Bombers first down for Manitoba Teachers Society, working to help your kids achieve their goals.
And that's a great job by Josh Johnson, bailing out his quarterback there. A little more heat again on the pivot. Winnipeg's not made them pay yet, and finally we get a receiver catching a ball in space and picking up some yak yards there, just outside the numbers. He makes a play and gets a first down.
Michael Chris Ike, the fullback, running back, 2nd-round pick in. He is off to the left-hand side. Calgary showing they're going to blitz again. A little run blitz. Smith dancing, pulled down by Micah Tights at the 43-yard line. Smith maybe gets a small gain.
Yeah, counterplay to the right side, but a run blitz by the Calgary Stampeders in their lovely candy cane uniforms, coming through, getting into the backfield and closing down on that run.
Sarcastic on the lovely, or do you like them?
No, I don't like them at all.
Okay, because I feel like I'm crazy for not liking these jerseys.
They're what do you call it? What's that hospital term? Candy stripers?
Candy striper, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
2nd and 9 from the 44. Again, what's coming from Calgary. Granger guns it across the middle in a tight hole. Should have been completed to Myron Mitchell. Wow, Granger tried to whip that through 3 guys, and he got it there. It hit Mitchell in the shoulder, bonked off him, and incomplete.
I love that bravado by Darren Granger. He stands in there. He knows he's going to take a shot. He sees that heat coming, and he steps authoritatively into that throw. As you mentioned, zips it through a bunch of guys in tight coverage, and Myron Mitchell just drops it. I mean, you want to talk about disappointing and letting your quarterback down. That should have been a huge play.
Jamison Sheehan on to punt again. High kick. Ooh, that's a nice one. This will be Peyton Logan outside the numbers at the 17-yard line. Tracks back to the right and nowhere to go. Who got down there first? Number 39 for your Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Max Charbonneau. That was a real nice tackle. And Calgary will start deep in its own end. When we return, 6:56 to go here in the second quarter. Bombers down 6-0. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. To his left-hand side, 1st and 10. Calgary from their own 18. Fake the handoff, little jet sweep action for Eric Brooks. He's got some open field, 25. Good speed for about an 8-yard gain. Christian on the sidelines.
Big development here. Rian Marcoux, director of branding for the team, went and got a big jar of candy out of the locker room, brought it out. It's mostly for them to snack on, but I know Willie Jefferson got a cup full. Kenny Lawler did. We're talking cherry blasters, gummy worms, sour watermelons. Miles Fox in uniform went and got some. So a little energy here and some little extra for the vets to snack on. I'm a little jealous. I guess I'm hungry is what I'm trying to say.
Willie Jefferson is a big candy guy. You wouldn't know it by looking at him, but he is a big candy guy. That's an A+ move from Rian. 1st and 10, Stamps. Schultz fading out to his left-hand side under pressure, and he's just going to pop this one across the middle at 40, 45, and forced out of bounds. Ron Tivasue. No, pardon me. That is Cam Eccles. I was so excited to say Tivasue. I practiced all last night, but it's Cam Eccles who had the big gain earlier.
That's a nice job by Schultz, just extending that play and waiting till someone gets open down the field. So just biding his time. No contain on the right side from the Bombers, and Schultz is able to wait until one of his receivers gets open for the first down.
21-yard gain for Eccles. 1st and 10, Calgary from their own 50-yard line with 5.5 to go here in the second quarter. 3 receivers to the right-hand side. They will run it going left with Bellamy. He cuts it back to the right, across midfield, and down to the Bomber 54-yard line. Trey Thomas in on the tackle, and another player in there as well for a gain of 5, maybe 6.
The ground game picking up a little bit of steam after largely the first quarter and a half. They were stymied really by the defensive dozen out here, getting worn down a little bit. Staying after it, the Calgary Stampeders. All the offensive production really coming from the red and white in this game.
Today's game brought to you by PlayNow.com. Bet on Manitoba. 2nd and 5 Stamps. They mark it just on the Bomber side of midfield. Handoff, Bellamy. Tried to get his feet under him and was able to squeeze forward to maybe the 51-yard line. A flag down late. This one is going to go against the Stampeders. That one is, I finally get to say it, Ron Tavasue with a little extra push on, I think it was Terrell Bonds.
Yeah, just a late shot by the offensive lineman.
Penalty signaled against the Stampeders, and what was going to be a 3rd and short has turned into a 3rd and a whole bunch if the Bombers.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary, number 75, will apply that foul from the point the ball is dead, 15 yards. It will be 3rd down.
Tavasue from New Mexico State by way of New Zealand, a 6'4", 285-pound fullback. That is a large human. When he shoves you, you stay shoved. I think it's the way that goes.
Hence, I misdiagnosed him as an offensive lineman.
Exactly.
Fullback.
Exactly.
Okay. Alrighty, that's a different shape for a fullback than I've ever seen.
Cody Gray, speaking of different shape, the 240-pound punter on again. Bangs a wobbler. This one bounces, and Crookshank has it go over his head down to the 5-yard line, and he's going to dance at the 2, and this is a disaster. Oh, he neither caught it nor went upfield when he did pick it up, and the Bombers are pinned deep in their own end to go 1st and 10. Video reviews today, they're brought to you by our friends at Pioneer Windows and Doors. And should a team get to the red zone? Red zone trips are brought to you by Windeck. More than just deck builders. Do it once, do it right. Windeck.ca. I am pretty sure we've not had a team in the red zone yet.
Just outside, but certainly not inside. And it's a lot of sins there committed by a returner, not catching the ball, letting it bounce over your head, backtracking. That's a terrible, terrible play.
Handoff, fumble, the exchange. Smith able to scoop it up and actually get 5 yards out of this, but the handoff from Granger to Chris Smith went awry. The bounce was pretty good and ends up with a gain of 5 or so.
Yeah, there's a reason you hand off the ball on your 3-yard line, is that it's a high percentage play because you don't want to turn it over. So that's about the most critical area where you want to avoid a fumble, and that's exactly what happened from the Bombers on 1st down. But they catch a break, they get a Bomber bounce, and hey, they're in 2nd down. See if they can actually convert something here.
Granger never seemed to catch that ball from the snap as we see the replay. 2nd and 7 Bombers from their own 6. Granger straight drop, guns this one out and tipped away. That was low, and it might not even have gotten to its intended target at the far side. That one intended for, looks like Ontario Wilson on the far side, with only 3rd down Bombers.
Granger just didn't have enough on that football, slinging it across his body to the left side. Far too low and far too short. Even the receiver coming back to the ball, it was still a couple of yards away as it hit the ground. Just not a good offensive display for the entire 1st half by Winnipeg.
And it forces the Bombers to punt from their own end zone. Jamison Sheehan, a wobbler. It will get to the ground for Bentley Sanders to scoop up at midfield. Around the first tackler, a good return, 45-40. Down to the Bombers' 37-yard line. Bentley Sanders with a nice return, which is bad news for the Bombers. Calgary leading 6-0 with 3 minutes to go. 2:59, in fact, here in the 2nd quarter. We will break for the 3-minute warning. Bombers defense when we return. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. Down 6-0 after that return. The Stamps go 1st and 10 from the Winnipeg 36-yard line. Bombers show blitz. They'll rush 5. Schiltz guns, 1 hop. Might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage. That ball incomplete. 2nd quarter, as always, brought to you by Boston Pizza. For gourmet pizza and pasta, bring the team to Boston Pizza.
Am I ever glad I picked Schultz for my fantasy football team tonight. Racking up the yards, doing all the damage offensively. Calgary really flipped the field here. Super advantageous starting position offensively, already in field goal position. So 2nd and 10, we'll see how much they gamble.
And the whistle being blown by the officials. It was something we were used to seeing last season, right, from the Bombers. They end up changing special teams coaches because they were 8th, 9th in kickoff returns against and punt returns against. They go to Mike Miller now as the special teams coach, but that's something, Doug, it's got to change. It's been 2 bad years. They have to be better in coverage.
Yeah, I mean, they can't be worse, largely. So, especially, it's disappointing when you get a start like that in your own end, and now you flip the field like this.
2nd and 10. Stamps from the Bombers 36. 4-man rush. Schultz looking left. Gunning an in route high. And wow, that ball was well over top of the intended receiver, Eric Brooks, who, though 5'7", maybe 7'5", would have been able to catch that. But that ball was gone and flagged down.
Either going to
deep
be
in the
holding
pocket.
or was this a late hit? I didn't see Schultz get hit by anybody, but he certainly showed off his arm strength there. Just absolutely motored that ball down the field, but to no one in particular.
Misconduct. Calgary, number 64. It's a dead ball foul. It'll be 3rd down, back 15 yards.
Trevon Tate, the right tackle, gets called for the unnecessary roughness. So this will take Calgary out of field goal range. I have to believe that Campbell Fair does not possess a 58, 59-yard leg, and Cody Grace coming on to punt. Today's game brought to you by Play Now, Bet on Blue. And all the first downs in the game are brought to you by Manitoba Teachers Society, working to help your kids achieve their goals.
Nothing worse than committing a penalty and taking points off the board for your football team. One thing Winnipeg's done well, they've been very disciplined, and Calgary not so much.
Chris Smith back to return this one, standing deep in his own end. He's inside his 5, and he will catch this on the 1-yard line. Tries the right-hand side. It's closed off. 5-10. Smith, 15. This is a great return if he gets around Grace. 20, 30, 40. Chris Smith, midfield. Run, Chris Smith. 30, 20, 10. Jumps and touchdown. The return we've been waiting for. Chris Smith, 109 yards, and the Bombers are on the board.
Just what you wanted to see. In desperate need of a returner, someone that could provide a spark, a sign of energy, a big, big play in a game where the Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense has just been flat. That was the biggest play by a mile by Chris Smith, who pretty much just signed his name to the initial opportunity as a returner for the Winnipeg Blue Bomber special teams.
After the Aaron Cruikshank return previously went so bad, Chris Smith, that went so well. I didn't know where he was running to start with, but he found a lane and then he just ran away from everybody. That ties the game at 6. They're not entirely sure who is on the convert kicking team. Liam Dobson ran on, then ran off, and now ran on again, which just seems mean for a guy who's over 300 pounds. Sergio Castillo for the convert to give the Bombers the lead. Jamison Shea in the hold. Mike Benson, Winnipeg's finest, continues as the snapper. It is up, and it is good with 2:22 remaining here in the second quarter. It's now Winnipeg 6. And the Winnipeg 7 and the Calgary Stampeders 6. Christian O'Mell is on the sidelines. If he can join us, some hype on the sidelines for the return.
Yeah, you can imagine that things are pretty pumped up now after really nothing happened for the first almost 30 minutes of this game. Yeah, everybody's going over. Smith sitting at the bench. He's pretty much had a massive grin ever since he took his helmet off. Everyone's coming over to dap him up. Big play, huge play, and he's sitting there now collecting his thoughts, but still smiling. He's still thinking about it. He's got the offensive lineman coming over. There's Marty Costello giving him a handshake. There's Liam Dobson giving him a handshake. Everyone's saying, hey, man, that's the play we've been looking for. And for a guy trying to win a job, as Doug said, that might put the ink on the paper for him. We'll see.
Well, and Doug, there's a ton more that coaches will look at in film, they tell us. But a 109-yard punt return, that's great. That's a great for a guy who wants a job.
No matter what was wrong with that play, the end result speaks the loudest, right? And that was a massive energy expenditure, right? You could see he was really struggling at the end there to make it into the end zone, but he didn't give up on it. He did not get caught. And you're right, it looked like a very ordinary return from the start, but then he got sprung, some good blocks up front, and he was off to the races.
Well, in a 6-way competition for who's going to be the returner, you can put that one as a check mark for Chris Smith. Other guys have some X's in there. Sergio Castillo's kick will be fielded at the 13-yard line by Eric Brooks, straight up field, 30, 35, and he stumbles, and then he falls into a couple of the Bombers' cover men. Calgary will begin inside their own 40, 1st and 10.
And that's the kind of, I would say this isn't a great job of coverage, but, we so got used to last year, offenses starting up around their own 50-yard line, if not even into Bomber territory. They just need to continually gnaw away at limiting these returns and putting a long field in front of the opposition.
2:16 to go in the second. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Go the Stamps. Schultz looking for the quick one. Now he'll screen it. That one tipped by Chauncey Rivers and incomplete. Schultz was fake to his right, had the screen coming back to his left, and Rivers just swatted it out of the sky.
That's a nice job by Chauncey Rivers. There's a little bit of veteran football IQ there, understanding they're inviting you up the field. So what does he do? He retraces his steps, gets into that passing lane, and bats it down. Almost makes an interception here. Plays off that offensive tackle. He's like, hang on, what's going on? It's all about that read and recognition. Nice job.
2nd and 10, Stamps from the 38-yard line. 3 receivers into the left-hand side. Schultz guns across the middle. Bang! The contact just as the ball arrived at Trey Odom's Dukes. That was beautifully done by searching. Trayvon Fuller in the coverage. That was so nicely timed, and it's 3rd down, Calgary.
That was a nice throw by Schultz, but perfect timing, as you said, on the break by Fuller, coming downhill. And his timing just immaculate as he gets there just as the ball arrives. Just a violent collision, no chance for a reception there. See that energy now transferring to the defense. We see that often. Massive play by special teams trickling over to defense now.
And there's the defensive equivalent of a play that will draw the coach's eyes, right? Broke up what would have been a huge gain. Cody Grace, again, just nukes the ball in the air. My goodness, it's Van at the 19-yard line outside the numbers. Back to the left, flag down in the area of holding. Van to the 30, 35, 40, another flag down, 50. Cody Grace has him on the sideline. Van breaks around him and down inside the Calgary 45-yard line. They'll say he stepped out at the Calgary 47, but 2 flags in the area of something bad done by the Bombers. Let me ask you, I was listening back to some games from last year, and you said it right there, defensive lineman retracing his steps. Is that literal, like go back the way you came?
Yeah, I mean, literally, I was coached, as soon as you feel like you're being invited outfield, you literally go back the way you came. Take the same path going backwards that you were taking going, because that's your quickest path way back to the ball. They're filling that gap of where you came from. That's often where the ball carrier is going to be, or the reception is going to be made. They're going to toss it over, so it's the quickest line back to where the football potentially is going to be. And that's a massive point of emphasis for defensive line coaches.
Winnipeg, number 46. Illegal block, Winnipeg, number 51. By rule, will apply just 1 foul, half the distance from the 20-yard line, 1st down.
Russell Dandy is number 46, and Lucky Ogbavin, their 2nd-round pick in the global draft, number 51. Both called for fouls there.
Never helps when you're struggling offensively to start in successive possessions inside your 10-yard line.
Hey, who wants
back-to-back?
Who wants a 100-yard touchdown? Who wants that 5th receiver spot? 4 of them out to the left-hand side, and they'll fake it. Granger tipped at the line and incomplete. He was going to try to put it out in the flat to Ontario Wilson, but a defensive lineman immediately in his face.
Yeah, that was probably the best result of that play. Just busted from the get-go. You get that much pressure in your face, you're trying to sift out to the left. Best thing he can do is throw an incomplete pass, because no chance for any connection off to the left side.
Granger is a big dude in at quarterback. At 6'4", 225 pounds. But in 2022, he led his college, Georgia State, in rushing. He's a big rushing threat. They ran a quarterback draw with him already. An enticing prospect, let's say. 2nd and 10, blitz coming. Granger scrambles out to his left. Tights has him and down for the safety in the end zone. Granger could not escape the veteran Micah Tights, and that will be 2 points for the Stamps.
Yeah, just too many free missiles there coming from Calgary. A 7-man rush, too many unblocked guys. He gets away from the first one, but no chance to get out of the end zone. That's what you do against a rookie quarterback who's been here for 6 days. Don't give him any time to think and process. And safety touch for the Calgary Stampeders.
Micah Tights back home. The University of Calgary product, now playing for the Calgary Stampeders. He's been doing some real nice stuff in this game, playing that middle linebacker spot. Not the one he'll play during the season, but doing some real nice stuff in this game. And the Bombers will free kick this one to the Stampeders with 1:39 remaining here in the second quarter. It's now Calgary 8 and Winnipeg 7. Today's game brought to you by Play Now. Bet on Manitoba.
I think for the highlights offensively of this game, we're just going to have to replay that punt return on a loop, right? Over and over for a good 3-4 minutes. I don't know how long the offensive highlights usually take, but we're going to be a little short, I think.
Well, Braden Owasco does such a tremendous job putting those together. He had to struggle to find the good parts of preseason game A from Saskatchewan, the 25-12 loss. Whoa, it's going to be a tough one so far after almost 30 minutes of play here. Castillo's free kick. Kickoff style from the 20-yard line. He puts it up. And this will be Peyton Logan from his own 31-yard line. 40. Blocker in front. 45. Still alive at the 50 and put down at the 51-yard line. Isaiah Norman in on the tackle, the first-year man from Marshall. Calgary's got good field position with 1:32 left at their own 50. A chance for new quarterback. Is that new quarterback in there?
Either way,
it'll be Schultz continuing.
Either way, it should be a 2-minute drill. We should at least see a change of pace here as they try to run a hurry-up offense and see how this defense responds to it.
Bonds and Bridges are the boundary defensive back duo. It feels like Tyreek McGee's night is done at that cornerback spot. Schultz, 4-man rush, just lofts it out for Logan at the 50. Broke the tackle forward, 55. Logan is fast, 40, 35, and forced out of bounds. Johnny Patrician chased him down to the 35-yard line, but Logan broke that first tackle and got a big gain.
Yeah, Peyton Logan in space is just dangerous, right? And he's out there in the flat, outside of the numbers, takes the reception, and one-on-one coverage there. Trailer defender, no way he's going to make that tackle. Outstanding yards after the catch by Peyton Logan.
25-yard gain for Logan. It's now 1st and 10 from the Winnipeg 35-yard line. 3 receivers into the left-hand side. Logan the back in the backfield. Schultz looking left, and he's going to run this one, and he is hit quickly. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage before he is piled up.
Devin Adams, nice job there on the interior of that defensive line. Reading the block in front of him, closing down as soon as he recognized that's going to be a QB draw or the quarterback just trying to escape the situation. Closes down immediately. It's good agility to cut off that rush up the field and drop for no loss.
2nd and 10 Stamps for the Bombers 35. Just ticking down to a minute left here in the second quarter. Schultz surveying. 4-man rush looking left. Gunning across the middle. Caught Trey Odoms-Dukes inside the 25. He'll go down under the tackle. Nico McCarthy lays the lick, but that will be a Calgary first down with 53 seconds to go in the second.
Odoms-Dukes coming across the middle of the field. Looks like bracketed coverage there. Oh, yeah, he's got one guy out in front of him and one in the trail technique, but they place it nice.
Schultz looking right, now scrambles out to his left. 40, slides down before he gets whacked by Fuller. They're going to mark him down at the 20-yard line for a gain of 2. Trey Odoms-Dukes' season changed pretty dramatically with the Malik Henry injury in Calgary. It looked like he'd be relegated to a backup role, but now the 3rd-year man from South Florida, who made some plays for this Stamps team last year, is probably going to get thrust into the starting lineup. 2nd and 8, 5-man rush from the Bombers. Schultz standing in there, gunning to the end zone. Freebie in Ford's hands and incomplete. Demetrius Ford reacted super well to that ball, but could not make the catch.
Yeah, it looks like Ford came off his coverage, playing that throw, understanding where Schultz was going with that ball. He cheats off his coverage and makes an excellent play on the football, just not able to intercept it fully. As the Bomber pressure defensively gets to Schultz and forces him to maybe rush that throw. Oh, that's a nice job by Ford.
Yeah, he will kick himself for not making that catch. Man, Schultz does not look great for these Stampeders. Campbell Fair for the 27-yard field goal, up and good with 26 seconds to go. It's now Calgary 11 and Winnipeg 7. Greg Mackling, Ed Tate with the halftime show. I can't wait to hear what they will discuss. I mean, we may have found the returner, Chris Smith.
We got one job. We might have found a defensive tackle as well, just judging from how strong they've played against the run largely. It's hard to identify from up here, but just looking at Miles Fox being in there, Devin Adams being in there, Tanner Schmeckel, those guys were stout against the run the first half against the Calgary starters. So we had Chauncey Rivers as well with some nice rushes in this game. So there could be a couple positions being solidified.
Interesting that the Bombers are just going to take the ball after the field goal when they could have another kickoff return. When they're looking for a returner. Interesting from head coach.
Well, that job's taken now. I don't know if you remember that.
It's solved by Smith?
Yeah,
okay.
we put that one. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We're focusing on other things now.
If that's in fact the case, then that would be pretty great.
They're like, oh, yeah, okay, Chris Smith got that job, and Mike O'Shea just crossed it off his list of things to do.
Yeah. In the CFL, since they changed the rules, you get the ball at the 40-yard line. Must be 90% of the time teams take the ball when they can. So it makes sense that this is what they do in the regular season, but they could have had an extra kickoff rep. Granger continues. 1st and 10. Hand it off. I believe that's Smith across the 45 to the 47-yard line.
That was the first run by the Bombers that actually looked like, hey, that's the Bomber offense out there. That looks like how the Bombers run the ball. They got massive push up front and running back following his blockers and picking up a good 7 yards on first down. That's a little taste of Blue Bomber style punishing offensive ground game.
Clock ticking at 14 seconds to go. 3 receivers in a bunch to the right-hand side. Granger turns around, hands it off to Smith again, puts his head down and pushes forward. And on a team that has so many Canadians in starting spots, they could keep an American running back if they wanted to. They could start an American running back if they wanted to, but Brady Oliveira still exists. He gets a couple yards there. It'll be 3rd and inches, and this will be the final play of the second quarter. They can keep an American running back like Smith, and they can use him on offense. And, the designated nationalized American rule exists to get him in there. And if you're the returner as well, you could have an impact on these 24 Blue Bombers. Granger from the 49. It's 3rd and 1 in shotgun. 4-man rush. Chance to throw the ball. Pressure immediately off the edges. Lofted it, and that one should have been picked off by Micah Tights. He was looking for Josh Johnson. Threw it in behind him. Incomplete. And that is the end of the first half. 30 minutes are in the books. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers trailing the Calgary Stampeders by a score of 11-7. From the 30-yard line, drives this deep. Levante Bellamy settles under it at his own 8-yard line. To his right, 15, 20. He's going to find some room there. 25 and down to the 27-yard line. Pretty nice tackle. Terrell Bonds in on the tackle. And the Bombers defense comes out with Calgary going 1st and 10. There is Chauncey Rivers, who a game and a half now, you've been very impressed.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
very might be much, but you've been impressed.
But he's doing well. He doesn't look out of place. He's done some good things. And I think I think there's an ability there. I think there's a talent level that you can build off of, right? I think, like
so
I said,
maybe Hall of Fame. Yeah. Hall of Fame is in its range of outcomes.
Preseason is just so ridiculously short.
Logan Bonner taking the third quarter at quarterback for the Calgary Stampeders, drops back, looking right, clutches, and it is caught at the 30-yard line. Markin Michelle, far side of the field, scampers forward to the 40-yard line. It's Eric Brooks, number 87. That's a nice gain for Calgary and a first down.
And they come out slinging the ball. They started this game off really trying to establish the run and the ground game, and the Bombers were having none of that. So here we are in the third quarter. A little bit of a passing attack on display by Logan Bonner.
Sorry, Doug. Second half opening kickoff as always. Thank you to the good folks at Harvest Honda. Tight end and 3 receivers into the left-hand side. Tight end will stay in the block for a little run play. It's Logan's trying to stretch it outside, but nowhere really to go. He was chased down by Michael Ayers, which is no small feat. Does fall forward for a 5-yard gain, though.
It just kind of slips underneath the tackle. Ayers is a little high on that tackle as he runs him down the line of scrimmage there. And you're right, he kind of slips underneath and falls forward for halfway to the first down marker.
Defensive backfield, we see Demetrius Ford, Trayvon Fuller, Nico McCarthy is the safety. Michael Griffin is the dime defensive back. Marquise Bridges in there, and Terrell Bonds as well. 2nd and 5. Bonner looking downtown, wide open down the middle. Trey Odoms Dukes complete at the 25 and down inside the Blue Bomber 20-yard line. Demetrius Ford was there to make the tackle, but another huge strike from the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, that's just, you got 3 Bombers in the vicinity down. That's the heart of your defense, right? A strike right down the middle of the field, explosive play. 3 Bombers in the vicinity and nobody able to make a play on that ball. All chasing the receiver that exploited them.
Trey Odoms Dukes with a massive gain down to the Winnipeg 18-yard line, middle of the field, 1st and 10. 12:30 to go here in the third quarter. Bombers in a 4-point hole. Feels like a run play. It will be Logan trying the left side. He is caught and dropped down very quickly. Owen Hubert, the rookie out of McMaster, with a nice tackle.
Yeah, it's a good job yet again. Gap integrity. This time they're flowing with the football. Look at this cut to the outside. Tries to bounce it out. Just too much vertical penetration. He's run down. Nowhere to go. Minimal pickup on the ground game.
They call it a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 from the Winnipeg 16-yard line. An actual trip to the red zone. All right. 3 receivers into the right. Logan will come back into the backfield. 4-man rush from the Bombers. Bonner looking across the middle. Flat. It's Logan at the 15. Open space. 10.
He's got it.
5. And he is into the end zone for the score. Peyton Logan takes the check down from Bonner. Touchdown, 17-7 Calgary.
He's just all alone in the flat there. As soon as he caught that ball, you're like, there's no way that they have a pursuit angle to cut him off. He's going to run right in. I knew he was going to get a major there. Just too much speed and just angled it in to the corner of the end zone for a major. First possession, Calgary Stampeders march all the way down the field, capped off by Peyton Logan. Little dump pass into the flat, and he just outlegs everybody.
Logan Bonner to Peyton Logan for the score. Campbell Fair now for the convert. That would give Calgary an 11-point lead. Down, up, and through with 11:22 to go here in the third quarter. It's now Calgary 18, Winnipeg 7. It's a trip to the red zone. They're brought to you by Windeck. More than just deck builders. Do it once. Do it right. Windeck.ca. We will break. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. Stampeders drive, capped off by Peyton Logan, 16-yard check down catch and touchdown. The Bombers now trail 18-7 here in the third quarter. Campbell Fair's kickoff right to left. Coming up to get it at the 27-yard line is Van through the first level to 35, and he's down at the 38-yard line. Tackle made by Calgary's number 18, Kalen St. Cyr, the first-year man out of Montreal. And Winnipeg's offense returns with Terry Wilson back at quarterback. The Bombers doing a first quarter, third quarter for one guy, second quarter, fourth quarter for the other guy. Wilson, 5 of 7 for 34 yards. Your impression from the first quarter, which was 4 hours ago?
I think the yardage spoke for itself. 70 total yards in that first half.
No bueno.
Yeah, nothing happening.
Left hash mark. It'll be a handoff. It's Jonathan Rosary dancing, pushing forward. He is down just shy of the 40-yard line. Not a lot of space for Rosary to run. He'll get a gain of about 1.
He's got to hit that pile, right? Can't just expect things to open up for him. Sometimes you got to make your own hole, and a little too tentative there after the handoff. Minimal pickup. Second and long, been a difficult spot for the Bomber offense in this game.
3 first downs in the first half for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Myron Mitchell, the slot receiver to the left-hand side. From just shy of the 45-man rush, Wilson scrambles out to his right, keeps his feet alive, connects with Kevin's Clercius just shy of the sticks. They're going to mark him just about the 47-yard line. They'll need the 48 for the first down.
That's got to be close enough for them to go short yardage.
Wow.
And no. Well, that's a lack of faith in offensive conversion. They just marched the offensive line off the field, and it's a punting situation unless they go for a fake here.
With Dante Mastro Giuseppe in at punting, it appears Jamison Sheehan's night is over. No, to Mastro Giuseppe, who drops it, pressure on his face now, and he's going to run with it. We get it the other way around. He's got the first down, midfield, 50, 45, 40. Mastro Giuseppe to the 35-yard line.
Called it, Derek.
It wasn't really a fake unless it was the best fake I ever saw.
It was the old pretend you fumble the snap fake. No, that was definitely a fumbled catch on that snap. Drops it down and just in survival mode ends up evading the massive tackle for loss and escapes to his left side and puts a good burst of speed on. And look at this, approaching the score zone.
Yes, the 35-yard line of Calgary. 1st and 10, Bombers now. Clercius and Wilson motion to the left-hand side. Feels like a run play, and it will be with Rosary. Nice hole, pushing forward to the 30 and down to the 29-yard line. Most notable on the run from Mastro Giuseppe, he was holding it, like a cake. He then tucked it under his arm, and he did the legit running back transfer, right arm to left arm to the outside.
Yeah, he had some high steps too, right? You saw he was kicking his legs up out there. It was like, this guy's doing the Deion Sanders high step.
5-yard penalty.
Down the left sideline.
Replay, first down.
Mastro Giuseppe has played some football along the way, the 26-year-old out of the University of Toronto. 5-yard penalty called against the Bombers, backs him up to the 40. We'll get the call as soon as we can here. Today's game brought to you by PlayNow.com. Bet on Manitoba.
I'm going to write that down as fake snap fumble. That's what we're going to call that. We're going to label it.
It's a heck of a play from special teams coach Mike Miller. Just saying. Jet sweep. It's Myron Mitchell, 45-40. Trying to jump back, plowed down to the ground at the 35, maybe the 34-yard line. Bombers love that play. And it was Hamilcar Rashed with the tackle.
And that was a pretty good piece of aggressive running, right? You want to see that. Myron Mitchell had a big drop already in this game, but he, when you give a receiver a ball like that on a speed sweep and they turn it back up into the teeth of a defense, the last thing you want them to do is dance around or hesitate with it. And he did a good job being aggressive with that, even though it was a minimal pickup.
2nd and 9, so 6-yard gain. They are at the Calgary 34-yard line as we take under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Bad snap. Wilson under pressure, lofts it up for Johnson. Jump ball, and it sails out of bounds. That's a completable pass, but Johnson got tied up with the defender, and it does fall incomplete.
Yeah, Terry Wilson there, when he doesn't get his feet set and he's just putting a ball up for grabs, Very, very inaccurate. It's the second time we've seen him actually throw it out of bounds, right?
I
Receiver doesn't even make a play on that football.
Yeah, if Johnson keeps going down the sidelines, like Johnson, I think, took a bad route to the football. If he just kind of kept going, to me, Kenny Lawler makes that catch at the 2. Is he able to judge it in the air was kind of how I perceive it on first glance. Sergio Castillo now for a 42-yard field goal. Snap, kick, uprights. Good, with 7:31 to go in the third quarter. Calgary 18 and Winnipeg 10. We will break. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB.
I am dry. You know what? Come back to me after this play.
We can absolutely do that. Right hash mark. Calgary decides to just take the ball at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. Continuing with Logan Bonner at quarterback, who looked nice on that first drive. Shotgun looking left, throwing the out to the wide side. Caught. Demetrius Ford wrestles down for the tackle after a gain of 8 or 9. Christian.
I was watching the body language of Master Giuseppe when he came off after that big run, and he immediately was shaking his head. He was tapping his chest, sorry. So I very much, judging by his body language, that was not on purpose. That was an accident. Great on him to make something out of that, but he was immediately apologetic when he came off, even though everyone was dapping him up for making a play.
Wet football.
So hearing that, I'm 99% convinced it was a mistake, but it could have been the greatest fake ever. Still could be. Logan Bonner with the quarterback sneak. He is across the 50 and pushes forward for a few more yards. That giant body at 235 pounds, good for a first down. All the first downs brought to you by Manitoba Teachers Society, working to help your kids achieve their goals.
Hey, did a good job. You know, it's easy to lose your nerve when you've got someone in your face like that when you're bumbling that snap, right? It's ball's on the ground. There's the defender in your face, and he knew what to do. He was able to regain his composure, and he made a massive play.
53-yard line, 1st and 10. Stamps, 3 receivers into Bonner's left. 5-man rush. Bonner throwing to his right. 1-on-1 on Ford. Jumps up and bats it away. Demetrius Ford in a jump ball situation on the far side with Cam Eccles, and Ford wins that one.
I'll tell you, Logan Bonner, he throws a beautiful football. That was a textbook pass. That was a rainbow toss out there to the right, and just watching the replay here, that's a nice job by the defender timing his jump to get up and break that up.
That ball was right on target too. That was very nice. Agreed. 2nd and 10. Stamps from their own 53. Logan, the running back, pointing out a lineman very, very intently. Picks up the blitz. One incomplete. Bonner just missed it. He was trying to get Ron Tavasue in the flat. Incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down.
trying to attempt to pass to the world's biggest fullback out there in the flat. And, you know, it's understandable to miss those big shots down the field in coverage, but, you know, you got to make those throws, I think, those high percentage ones into the flat there, and just a bad pass.
Cody Grace on to punt from the 53. Puts a wobbler up. Crookshank on the run at the 22-yard line, backtracks behind the 20, and he is not going to get back to where he caught the football. Mike O'Shea says, sometimes I wish they would just take it straight up field, and
yes,
that would have benefited Crookshank quite a bit right there. 5:10 to go in the third quarter. Bombers down 18-10. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. .22-yard line. Doug Brown's color commentary brought to you by Namath Diamonds. Ready to help you celebrate your anniversary. Head to Namath Diamonds in Southdale Square. Terry Wilson remains at quarterback. 3 receivers to his left-hand side. Calgary shows blitz, pulls it, and throws it in the flat. This one complete at the 25-yard line for Ontario Wilson. Spins off the first tackler to the 26 for a gain of 4. Oh, they'll give him 5, in fact.
That's a decent way to start your drive. Get yourself into a little rhythm there. A little play action. Roll out to your right side and connect with Wilson underneath. Halfway to the sticks.
Johnson, Wilson, Wheatfall, Myron Mitchell, Kevins Clercius. The receivers for this one. 2nd and 6. Bombers from their own 26. 4-man rush. Wilson in the flat again. This Rosary 30 turns it upfield immediately to the 36-yard line. Jonathan Rosary, running back / receiver / everything from the University of Alberta. Good for a Blue Bombers first down for Manitoba Teachers Society, working to help your kids achieve their goals.
And on Derek Taylor's wish list to make this football team,
please.
A little Dembski clone, right? Potential?
Just
Mini Dembski?
Not nearly as big. Not nearly as big. Rosary goes 5'9". They list him 193. But receiver, running back, I think he can do a lot of things. Just can he do them at the CFL level? He'll get a chance to run, hits the hole, spins off the strike, and falls forward for a gain of 2, maybe 3. This is a team and an offense that you don't have to be big to be in this offense, right? You don't have to be perfect size, but can you athletically compete at this level? I feel like ends up being the question for, well, the 96 guys in training camp.
Yeah. What can you do better than most that makes you stand out, right? What is your strength? What's your go-to?
Kevins Clercius, wide receiver to the right, motions down inside for 2nd and 8. Wilson looking left, caught by Mitchell, just shy of the sticks. He then gets form tackled beautifully at they're going to give him the 46-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down, Bombers, 3rd down and 1. And this time they will not send on the punt team. They're going to bring on extra offensive lineman and the fullback, Michael Chris Ike.
What's that? Is Terry Wilson putting together a little bit of a drive here, Derek Tallman?
I hope so. maybe didn't want to see. Maybe Master Giuseppe had an actual punt fake. Wouldn't that be? They put out 3 receivers out wide, and they're going to run from shotgun. They hand it off to Rosary. Got the yardage.
Got it.
Yeah, he got enough of a push, and Rosary followed it to the 48-yard line. That is not a call they would make in the regular season. 3 receivers out and shotgun run on 3rd and 1.
Forward progress gets them the first down. We've seen more first downs on this drive than we did the entire first half, I believe. Or is that tie? Is that 3 right there?
That's 3. That
ties first half production. But honestly, Terry Wilson looking more comfortable yet again. Throwing some better footballs out there, attacking a little more downfield. Running game coming together. See if they can continue on this drive.
1st and 10 for their own 48. High snap. Myron Mitchell on a little jet sweep. Makes the first man miss. Spins off to the 50 and down to the 52-yard line. Malcolm Thompson, the former Bomber, came in like a missile. Misfired, though, and it'll be a gain of 2 for Thompson. Or, pardon me, Myron Mitchell.
He made a couple guys miss there. Decent play there. Big second down, though. This is a situation that they got buried in the first half. These second and long situations, they were unable to capitalize on any of them, seemingly, in the first 2 quarters. Right near midfield, see if they can get one here.
And you got to be able to get something going against Calgary's second defensive back group. A little hook route, some bumping early by Benjamin LaBrosse. He has
Picked
the ball,
off.
Interception. They're going to say down by contact to Carrick Wheatfall. Josh Johnson then stiffed somebody right in the back. They rule it is a turnover and an interception by Ben LaBrosse. There, he looked like he might have got there a little bit early. We're going to take a break and see what results, because they will review every single turnover. 1:24 to go in the third. Bombers down 18-10. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. 20 to go here in the third quarter. 4-man rush for the Bombers. Bonner, the out route, that one complete inside the Bomber 50. Turns and steps up and runs out of bounds is Cam Eccles under the coverage of Russell Dandy Jr.
And the most promising drive of the night by the Blue Bomber offense, and Terry Wilson in a second and long situation ends up in an interception at midfield. So just when it seemed like they were going to put something together and they got a little continuity and they got a rhythm going and distributing the ball well, they're running it well, second and long situation forces it down the middle, and it was just an inaccurate throw to the defender, and now Calgary's marching.
1st and 10 from the Winnipeg 42-yard line. 4 on the line of scrimmage for the Bombers. It's a handoff. Peyton tries to bounce it outside, chased to the sidelines, and forced out of bounds by Dandy. They will say he got out just inside the 38-yard line, so a gain of 4.5.
Very good team speed there by the Bomber defense. That's exactly what you want to do to a running back. You want to flatten them out. You want to get them to go horizontal down the line of scrimmage and make it a running race. And Peyton Logan, very fleet of foot, but they do a good job limiting the gain as he goes out of bounds.
And Peyton Logan is a guy who could start a game at running back for the Calgary Stampede.
Oh,
he is
question.
A weapon,
yeah.
Right? So these defenders trying to make the Bombers are getting a real test chasing him down. Bonner, 2nd and 5, throwing the deep out, and it is caught over top of Bill Hackett. That's a pretty nice adjustment to the ball and catch from Colton Hunchak, recently re-signed, and that is a Calgary first down at the Winnipeg 12.
And I think Bill Hackett tries to make a break on that throw, understands what route is developing in front of him, makes a break on it and falls down. Unfortunately, gets tripped up trying to make a play on that football and just makes it for an easy reception for Calgary. So missed opportunity there by Hackett.
Calgary's in the red zone, brought to you by Windeck. More than just deck builders. Do it once, do it right. Windeck.ca. Bombers 12-yard line. This will be the final play of the third quarter. 4 receivers right-hand side. They'll run it with Logan. 10 tries to cut back. Hackett in there to make the tackle. Wrapped him up by the legs and got some help from Trey Thomas to finish it off. That finishes off the third quarter of play. 15 more minutes are left in the preseason. Bombers trailing 18-10. The fourth quarter is going to be jam-packed with great. 6-3. Logan Bonner continues this drive for the Stamps. They are 2nd and 6 from the Winnipeg 8-yard line. Fullback goes in motion. Logan runs out into the flat. Bonner looking, throwing out to the end zone for Odoms Dukes, and it's incomplete. And it'll be 3rd down.
He had him too, huh? That receiver had his coverage beat there. All he had to do was run a corner pattern, it looks like, but just miscommunication between the quarterback and the intended target there. He zigged when he should have zagged, and incomplete ball. Going to limit them to a field goal attempt here.
I owe this one. Not sure what goes in your recycling. This 3rd quarter/4th quarter, we remind you to find out what goes where at winnipeg.ca/recycling or contact 311. Campbell Fair on for the 15-yard field goal attempt. This would give the Stampeders an 11-point lead, down, up, and that is well into the stands, and it's into the scorebook. Calgary 21 and Winnipeg 10. Today's game brought to you by PlayNow.com. Bet on Manitoba. So the Bombers would have the option to just take this ball at the 40, and they're going to send out the kickoff return team, and we'll get a chance to see a little more. As much as we've handed that job to Chris Smith on his 109-yard punt return touchdown.
What's the best offensive play the Bombers have right now, is it not? The return?
I'm trying to think of what else is even in the ballpark. Yeah. 109, and their total offensive output is dragging this one out a little bit.
107, it says up there on the scoreboard.
Okay, so
offensive yards, 107 versus 397. Almost 4 times the offensive output by Calgary in this game.
Some of that explained by, hey, they brought a lot of the first team.
Who are not playing anymore.
That is very fair.
Who only put up 6 points.
Oh, also fair. Logan Bonner has been, apart from Chris Smith, like Logan Bonner and Mark and Michelle are kind of the MVPs for this game. So honorable mention, Dondre Master-Giuseppe, obviously. But, man, it's Calgary is doing pretty well for themselves in this one. Not Matt Schultz, 5 of 13 for 101. A guy who I really like, and I like this move from Calgary, but he did not have it today. Bonner, 6 of 9 for 125 and 1. He was the play in CFL Fantasy, it looks like, except for Peyton Logan, who's got to be.
Is it going to be Terry Wilson or Darren?
I would imagine it's Darren Granger. The Bombers like the first quarter, third quarter to be one guy and 2-4 to be the other guy. This will be Aaron Cruikshank at the 25, and that is where he goes. First contact brings him down. Aaron Cruikshank on the kickoff return, and on comes the Bombers offense. And it is, in fact, Terry Wilson. Okay. Maybe they ran out of plays that, like Darren Granger's been here since last Saturday.
Yeah.
Right? And
he's out of his comfort zone now.
100%. So Wilson comes back on. Wilson's been here since the beginning of camp. We thought, in a competition for 3-4 with Eric Berrier, but it was clear very early that Wilson was the number 3 quarterback for the Bombers. So see if he can bounce back here. The Bombers trailing by 11. Handed off to Rosary, cuts back and spins forward to the 30-yard line or so. A tackle by Shahid Salman, the former Ottawa Red Black.
Inside zone play and a nice cutback there. Putting a foot in the ground and shifting direction. It's a good job by Rosary picking something up on first down. Hopefully making this a little more manageable. This has really been the Achilles heel. Second and longish has really been the undoing of Terry Wilson this game.
2nd and 7. Wilson looking left. He throws a little jump ball for Murphy. Tipped up and caught. Did he stay in bounds? Tyler Richardson with an incredible interception. Tipped it up over Murphy. Tracked it down. Kept a foot in. And it's an interception. What a play.
Back. Interceptions on possessions by Terry Wilson. Going up, tipping the ball up to yourself. He actually gets both feet in bounds as he comes down with that. That's an incredible athletic play. Not the best throw, obviously, by Terry Wilson, but a fantastic athletic play by the Stampeders to take that ball away on successive possessions.
They will get it 1st and 10 from their own 52-yard line. Chauncey Rivers, Taylor Upshaw, they are the ends. That looks like Tanner Schmeckel in at tackle. as the Bombers run through some of their depth. And this is a run with Levante Bellamy trying to get outside. He is tracked down from behind by Trey Thomas, who wrestles him down shy of the 55. We'll call it a gain of 2.
Yeah, another nice defensive play against the run. Doesn't matter who's been in this rotation of players. The front seven getting it done against the Calgary running game. Definitely the highlight of this game
Kyle
for
Sampson,
a lot of phases.
Sorry, Doug. Kyle Sampson, Jamal Woods, the tackles in this one. Lucky Ogbevin in there at linebacker, 2nd and 8 Stamps. Standing in the pocket, gunning across the middle. The in-breaking route at the 40 is complete. Cam Eccles probably goes over 100 yards receiving in this game, and that is a Stampeders first down with Kyle Van Trees now the quarterback, the first-year man from Georgia Southern.
That's a terrible number for a receiver to wear, but he's getting it done. That was a well-executed play. Perfect placement of that football where no one else can get it but his intended target. The drive begins.
Cam Eccles, 5 catches for 114 yards in this one. Tight end to the right-hand side. No motion Hunchak to the left-hand side. Fullback to the right as well. And it's Bellamy. Finds a hole 40. Broke a tackle 45, 30. And down inside the 30-yard line before he's brought down by Michael Ayers. That's a big gain for the Stamps on first down.
Jamal Woods actually has an opportunity to make a tackle here, and he gets the straight arm in the backfield. The left arm right there just shakes off Jamal Woods, and a big gainer off the right side.
5'9", 181, Levante Bellamy.
He's running with a lot of energy and purpose down there, very aggressively too. You can see his energy. Love the effort.
Calgary can make running backs. They can really make running backs. 4 receivers plus a fullback, and they will run it again with Bellamy. Tries the outside, cuts back inside. Ayers has the tackle inside the 25, about the 23 for a decent gain on first down.
It's a good job by the Bombers to wall that off, force him to turn back inside to the pursuit, and able to bring him down after a minimal pickup. Got to hold him to a field goal here. Can't let this drive continue.
2nd and 6, Calgary from the Bombers 22. Russell Dandy, Bill Hackett, the defensive backs, Juan Lua, and Demetrius Ford had a nice pass breakup out there as well. Isaiah Norman in there. And Nico McCarthy, the back 6, says...
Timeout, Calgary.
Calgary takes a timeout with 5 seconds left on the play clock. Allows us to remind you that all video reviews are brought to you by Pioneer Windows and Doors. 10:23 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Bombers down 21-10. Doug, I was saying, I was doing a podcast this week, and they said, well, what do you make of the preseason? I've now called 9 preseason games in my career. I don't remember the score of any of them because I honestly just don't care, right? I care about Tyrell Pigram. Oh, my gosh, that run. He might have something. I can't care about moments. How much do players and coaches care about the score in a preseason game?
I mean, it always feels good when you win. But, this will be – you want to talk about watching film and moving on. This will take a microsecond.
2nd and 6. Van Trees fakes the handoff. Guns a little hook route. That one caught inside the 20. Gang tackling down at the 17-yard line. It was Dandy in coverage down to perhaps the 16-yard line, and that will be close to a Calgary first down. Close enough that they're going to bring on the sticks for the measurement. Either way, Calgary's in the red zone, brought to you by Windeck. More than just deck builders. Do it once, do it right. Windeck.ca.
This is really when it's supposed to be more even, right? When it's depth players against depth players. Starters are long but removed from this game for Calgary, yet they're piling on right now.
Chain gang, that ball's going to be short.
About a foot, half a foot.
I feel like the Bombers knew that because they sent on Tanner Schmeckel. He went sprinting onto the field. He's a guy who can glom up that A-gap pretty quick. Schmeckel and Devin Adams, who, if he makes the team, is going to force me to learn where Peru State University is.
Were what?
He's from Peru State University or College, the 6'2", 290-pounder. I'm going to say Indiana.
It's the first I've heard of that.
You really learned some colleges watching CFL preseason.
Obscure community colleges.
It is a college in Peru, Nebraska.
How's Peru spelled?
P-E, like the country, exactly like the country.
Okay.
Founded by members of the Methodist Episcopal Church in 1865. Oldest college in Nebraska. Can he make a third down stop? Van Trees pushing. He's hit by Hackett and driven into a pile. They don't need the 15. They don't even really need the 16-yard line for the first down. A spot where, man, the Bombers had a lot of, that'll be easily a first down. The Bombers had a lot of 3rd and 1 stops last season in some big moments.
And one of the best highlights I've seen defensively, that Adam Big Hill short yardage to
on Corny.
That was one of my favorites from the entire season 2023. The way he timed that and met him square on that sneak attempt, and that was amazing.
1st and 10, Stamps from the Winnipeg 15-yard line. It's Bellamy bouncing out to the left-hand side, going to be forced to cut back. Nicely done. He'll get forward to maybe the 10-yard line, as there were 2 or 3 Bombers turning him back inside. Demetrius Ford leading the way.
That's my love language as a defensive player. Short yardage stuffs. Oh, just make me so happy.
Cornelius, and Big Hill talked about it afterward. It was down at the goal line to our right, the south end here at Princess Auto Stadium. He just thought, I'm going to get over top. Big Hill.
Cornelius is a big dude, too.
Cornelius at 235, 240, jumps up. Big Hill meets him midair perfectly, blows him backwards, and there was no room at the end for Taylor Cornelius on that day.
The essence of football.
As you never see it contact that clean on a sneak or a guy going over top.
Without much of a mess and chaos in front of you, right? So many jumbo bodies.
Calgary really wants this drive to go well, hey? That's 2 timeouts.
They're practicing their timeouts here, and midway through the 4th quarter, someone should tell Dave Dickinson that the point differential doesn't count, doesn't carry forward from the preseason. Which, no tiebreaker. They don't go back to the preseason.
Can you imagine? Oh, but, I mean, he wants this group of players to be able to perform their best, I guess. So give Kyle Van Trees the best chance to make a real play. What would he do on 2nd and 6 if other teams were on their 4th quarterback last year? It could happen to any team at any time. Van Trees is the 4, facing 2nd and 6. 4-man rush. Van Trees pumps, wants the out at the 5-yard line. Tap goes Trey Odoms-Dukes. They're going to rule it incomplete. He had the ball, it looked like, but Bill Hackett forced the incompletion, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, it looks like that was a pinpoint pass. The timing was perfect. Hit him in stride. I'm not sure why he wasn't able to hold on to that football, but here comes the field goal.
Man, this is a lot of work for Campbell Fair, who's not going to be on the roster when this is all done. Man, you kick him, you pay him like $500 a week to be at camp. You have him kick 40 times tonight, and then 39-year-old Rene Paredes is going to
it's filmed for other teams, right? That's the way you have to think about it, right? For other opportunities, it's the film you're putting together. You know it's not going to be with Calgary, but you could go somewhere else based off your performance here.
Snap, kick, score with 8 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. It's now Calgary 24 and Winnipeg 10. 204-780-6868. We're going to have some time to chat the final 8 minutes. So shoot us your questions, your texts. We would love to have you with us. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber Football on 680 CJOB. Numbers 25, 30, 35. Trying to spin off and plow down to the ground. Ball's on the ground. 35, and Calgary appears to have it.
That's what happens. You brace for contact there. He literally stopped in his tracks, lost all his momentum, and just got plastered. Puts a ball on the deck. Now they're deciding whether he was down by contact.
In the 4th quarter, Bombers down 24-10. Stamps 1st and 10 for the Bomber 35-yard line. Levante Bellamy cuts back to the right. Spun down. Bill Hackett up to make a tackle again. Bill Hackett, noticeably 5'7", 180 pounds, but apparently does not care about being not big.
And you just love guys with that kind of confidence in the secondary, just coming downhill and understanding their responsibility in the run game and loving and embracing that physicality. Very noticeable, as you mentioned, and just taking on guys that outweigh him, different weight class, and he's up for the task.
No gain, 2nd and 10, Stamps from the 35. Fullback in there. Van Trees, straight drop. Looking, firing on the post route to the end zone. Caught at the goal line, and a touchdown for the Calgary Stampeders. Demetrius Ford in coverage, and it was a flexing. Oh, it was Cam Eccles again. Eccles is having the best night of his football life tonight.
And there was just too much time. There was no pressure at all on the quarterback. He was able to survey, go through his progression, and just step into that and really just throw such an accurate football.
This is no touchdown here.
No touchdown?
I think he's down
before
inside
progress,
the 1.
Down before?
Watch him down.
Yeah,
he's
there's
down
his
there.
knee. Yeah, the ball does not cross the plane before his knee is down.
So Calgary will be 1st and goal. Christian O'Mell is on the sidelines with a report.
Yeah, we missed this in the kind of the frenzy of the weather delay, but Darren Granger, the Blue Bombers, tweeted out about 50 minutes ago. He's not returning to the game.
The ball carrier is down, shy of the line of goal. It'll be 1st down at the 1-yard line.
And so that explains why Terry Wilson's in it. I don't know if we saw an injury happen, but nonetheless, that happened. And I just got to say, credit to the fans that are here right now. We had a weather delay. It's maybe not the most scintillating action we've ever seen here. And there's still a couple thousand people here, and they deserve some credit for sticking this one out.
Absolutely so, yeah.
You can hear them, too.
For sure, man. If they could make
goal
a stop here on 1st down.
Here we go.
6:40 to go. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Van Trees in shotgun. And they'll run it with Bellamy. You suspect. Cuts back, pushing forward, and in for the touchdown. Calgary 30 and Winnipeg 10. Some extra celebration and some pushing and shoving. Bill Hackett was being not large, but getting in someone's face at the end of this one.
Bellamy cuts it back and just squeezes inside the left offensive tackle. Bullies his way through that B gap and scores the major. Nice energy on that run. That's tough interior goal line running by Bellamy. Makes it happen. And the lead starting to get out of hand a little bit here.
Yeah, about to be 21 if Campbell Fair can stroke this convert through. Down, up, and good with 6:08 to go. It's now Calgary 31 and Winnipeg 10. You firing your questions in at 204-780-6868. We'll answer some of them. We'll get a turf review from Christian O'Mell. Brand new turf just in time for training camp this year. As we continue, it's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. The preseason, and there's a reason I just don't care about the record in the preseason. This will be Myron Mitchell taking the kickoff return from the 14, 25, 30. Bend it back left. Mitchell cuts back, breaks through a tackle. Hey, up to the 40-yard line. Very nice. Through a tackle of Micah Tights. And that'll be a 1st down Bombers from the 40. Christian O'Mell is on the sidelines. Brand new turf was finished the day rookie camp began. Christian, what do you notice?
Well, the pellets, there's a lot of green pellets to go along with the normal black rubber pellets. It feels squishier. It feels thicker. It feels more like a somewhat lush lawn. Now, I'm not wearing cleats, and I'm not actually on the playing surface, right? I'm on the sideline, so it's probably worn in a little bit more where the players are, but I think it's nice.
It is very nice as they spent a lot of money to upgrade it. Rosary hit in the backfield after he takes the handoff from Wilson. Won't get back to the line of scrimmage. What used to be black pellets, it's now green pellets and like a small black shred. So no more of those burns on your arms from the 35 Celsius, feels more like 70 Celsius black pellets. And I mean, everything with artificial turf is how can you make it better for injuries? So
this has got to be what, 5th or 6th generation field turf now. So
Wilson, 2nd and a bunch. Guns it, tipped, and that one is intended in the direction of Cy Barnett, but it did not come out of Wilson's hand cleanly, and it'll be 3rd down.
Terry Wilson not having the best day. A couple back-to-back interceptions in his previous 2 series, and now an underthrown football. Just not taking the kind of steps or making the kind of progression you would hope in his second preseason game with the opportunity at hand.
9 of 15 for 52 yards and 2 picks for Terry Wilson on this day. Master Giuseppe on to punt. Does get to put his foot through this one. High kick. This one will be taken by Bentley Sanders at the 25. Dances, and he is taken down by the first man down, Russell Dandy, the rookie from Eastern Illinois. And the Stampeders will start 1st and 10 from their own 32 with 4:52 to go here in the 4th quarter of play. All the first downs in the game are brought to you by Manitoba Teachers Society, working to help your kids achieve their goals. Chris Smith, the running back, 6 carries for 16 yards. Leading receiver Josh Johnson with 2 for 26, as the offense is not covered in glory leaving tonight.
Yeah, and the defense allowing 31, as they've done a better job, but not getting much help from their counterpart.
Van Trees handed off. It's Peyton Logan in there, and he is popped at the 35-yard line. That was Jamal Woods with the stick after a gain of a couple.
I think a good job. I think if you average out the yards per carry, I think Blue Bomber defense has done a respectable job limiting the run attack, and that's been sometimes an area of concern for Winnipeg. So when you're looking for a starting interior guy and you're doing this kind of a number against some high caliber running backs, something at least to hang your hat on from this game.
Play action, Van Trees sidearm, that one complete to the 42. Broke a tackle is Eccles. He is right near the sticks. Bill Hackett insists he is short. And that is going to be very close to a first down. 20 carries from running backs for the Stamps today for 60, 70, 88 yards. So 4.4 per carry. That's a decent number.
That's very respectable.
These are the 3 running backs Calgary's going to bring week number 1.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we haven't been able to map out how many of those were behind a starting offensive line, but they were in there for some point.
Short yardage now for the Stampeders, 3rd and 1 as we tick down to 3:22 remaining. Oh, that's a great job. Flag down. And Van Trees insists he's still up.
They didn't whistle it dead.
His 3rd effort has him across, but you thought he might be down a couple times, and then there was a pre-snap flag going against.
Offside. Winnipeg defensive line. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Doesn't matter.
The 1-yard zone punishes all who come to the Canadian Football League. Every year,
Timeout. Winnipeg.
Winnipeg calls timeout with 3:17 remaining in the quarter. You can only take 1 timeout after the 3-minute warning of the 4th quarter. So the Bombers using one. Every year, training camp ends up being, well, you would know, training camp kind of ends up being the same after a while. When you're covering training camp, it's the same. It's this day, it's that day. I never tire of American guys coming up and learning the rules of Canadian football.
On the fly. Sometimes in the middle of a game, learning the rules,
right?
Explaining it to them, yeah.
The day, the 1 yard you have to give the opposing offense, the waggle, defending the waggle. The day they practice special teams plays. Oh, we punt this out of the end zone. People look at Coach O'Shea and go, what do you mean we punt this out of the end zone? What? You can do that? That's amazing. Canadian football. When they learned that dribble kick rule, yikes. I hate that rule, and they didn't take it out. Peyton Logan, 50, 55. He can run. Oh, pulled down by Ford. Nicely done. And then helped finish off by Michael Ayers. Demetrius Ford's made some plays in this game. That one, unfortunately for the Bombers, came after a gain of 8.
Peyton Logan, super slippery, very hard one-on-one to bring down. They have to gang tackle him. They got there to the point of attack in numbers, able to keep him from the first down, but just salting this one away in the ground game.
That is the 3-minute warning from Princess Auto Stadium. The Bombers trailing 31-10. We're back with the finals from this game. It's Princess Auto Blue Bomber football on 680 CJOB. field. 2 receivers to Van Trees' left, so double tight end. It's Bellamy, left side, then cuts back to the right, plows forward through Juan Lua, and one of the linebackers who is a little worse for wear, it looks like, getting up. He needs the Winnipeg 53 and a bit for a first down, and he has it. Today's game brought to you by PlayNow.com. Bet on Blue. Getting your text in at 204-780-6868. Fire us your questions, your observations, your hot takes, whatever you want. Who do you start at corner? Asked one texter. We'll tell you what we think on the other side of this play with Jamal Parker on the 6-game injured list, perhaps much longer than that. First and 10, it's Bellamy, dance, cut back, push forward, down at the 50, as Chauncey Rivers stays in the game and has played a lot of snaps in this one, is very hyped up.
Well, that's part of the experience defensively as well, right? It's not just having a couple plays here and there in a spurt of opportunities. It's, can you hold up to the rigors of an entire CFL game, right? That's another part of the trials of tribulation, I think, to make a football team, especially defensively, is it can wear on you. And how do you what kind of resolve do you have when it goes late into the fourth quarter?
2nd and 8. And I mean, there's a lot of guys who haven't played a pro football game in a long time. This Bellamy, right side, he'll be dropped at the 46-yard line. Dylan Moses, the starting middle linebacker, hasn't played a pro football game yet, a regular season pro football game coming out of Alabama. I think he came out in 2021 after doing that knee injury in 2019. Some guys haven't played a pro football game in 3 years, 4 years.
It's a lot of reps tonight, a lot of snaps against them.
Yeah, some guys are coming from the indoor football league where you're playing on a much smaller field. So how do you like 50 snaps on a 110 by 65? Van Trees on 3rd and 3. They'll just run it again as Calgary tries to run the clock. Turn back.
That's a nice job.
Is
right
Levante Bellamy. Juan Lua stepped in there, and he was helped out by Jamal Woods and friends. A turnover on downs forced by the Bombers with 1:53 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Nothing wrong with the effort level by the defense tonight, right? That's a mean nothing play, and they're still gang tackling and getting to the point of attack, turning it back there. And if anything, in a game like this, so one-sided where the defense is on the field for a long time, it's a good opportunity to see what these guys are made of.
Final moments for Terry Wilson. He'll fake the handoff, throws the in route. Barnett goes up to catch it, takes a shot, and then holds on to it. Spins forward to the 51-yard line for a gain of 7. Cy Barnett with his first catch here in the preseason. A late arrival to training camp as they move some guys out, move some new bodies in. Barnett, one of those late arrivers. 2nd and 3 from the 51. Wilson, high snap, he corrals it, pulls it. He's going to run. He's got a receiver blocking downfield. He's going to get up to the 53-yard line. It kind of looked like Wilson wanted to throw it, but his receiver Coulter was already engaged in blocking downfield, and you can't be throwing the ball after that, so something went awry there.
Bringing out the short yardage team, it looks like.
Yeah, Gabe Wallace and Michael Chris
But they
Ike.
got the first down, so.
Oh, they're just going to try some first down or some short yardage package.
Double tight.
Stick with us for the post-game show. We'll talk to the head coach, Mike O'Shea, get his thoughts. Talk to a couple of the stars of the game as well, including Dante Mastro Giuseppe, who I just have to know, was that the greatest fake in Canadian Football League history? I hope he lies to me and tells me it was. Jet sweep, it's Barnett going left to right, 55. Shoved into the Calgary bench in Calgary territory. They'll mark him at the 52-yard line. Call that a gain of 4.
Decent production on the speed sweep, but he never actually gets to be able to turn it upfield. So looking for that corner, and they string him out enough that they can just push him out of bounds.
Man, I want to love something in my life as much as Buck Pierce loves that speed sweep, jet sweep action, right? I think.
Well, it opens up the middle, right? When you go sideline to sideline, you force the defense to cover you that way, and then you pound them up the middle.
Fake the handoff. Wilson looking. Now guns a low in route. That one incomplete. Just again, not the best throw there was from Terry Wilson. That one was intended for Isaiah Coulter.
And he's been short-arming a ton of these footballs. Threw a couple picks.
His comfort level is drastically different from how he finished that Sask game, yes?
Yeah. You thought he looked poised to be able to take the next step, and unfortunately today's game has been a regression for him.
1:22 on the clock. This 3rd and 6 for the Bombers from the Calgary 52-yard line. 4-man rush. Wilson standing in the pocket, wants deep downfield. He's going to scramble for it. 55. He's got the first down. Sliding across the 35-yard line. Terry Wilson with a nice scramble. He told me at camp, I can do it. I want to make plays from the pocket, though, which is
holding. Winnipeg, number 59. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Ethan Cowra, their 5th-round draft pick out of Waterloo, tagged for the holding penalty. Every coach wants to hear you want to make plays from the pocket. If you can do stuff like that, we're going to love you a little more as fans.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the search for what do you call it? Are they looking for a 2nd-string quarterback or a 3rd-string quarterback?
3rd stringer. Strebler's clearly the 2.
Yeah, he's the 2. So I think the search will continue after this game. I don't think they've learned anything that tells them the investment is going in the right direction. So I think the search will continue, and luckily they've got 2 bona fide quarterbacks on the roster.
3rd and 16 for the Bombers from now their own 48. Wilson sacked. He was trying to dance out to his left-hand side, and he is pulled down. A nice play by Cody Orozco, the former Saskatchewan Rough Rider, now Calgary Stampeder, and that'll be a turnover on downs for the Bombers. 1:08 to go here in the 4th.
Stamps defensive line running some games there. Little responsibility switch between the D-tackle and the end. Twisting and getting some pressure up the field. Terry Wilson going down for the sack.
See if Calgary can get this one going with 1:08 to go here.
I'm going to call a run here.
I hope they call 3 straight runs. This one with Peyton Logan. There's one. Dance, 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 dance. Push forward, spun down by Trey Thomas, and he was got low first by Jamal Woods with 1:01 left on the clock. Calgary has no timeouts left, so there's that. It's 10:55 p.m., so the coach has got cuts to make, so there's that.
I think what really screams out from this football game from Calgary is their desire to really be a balanced football club offensively this year. They really, really want to have success running the ball and making things easier for Jake Mayer in the pocket.
And they're going to need to as Logan takes it up the middle, and look at him push forward down to about the 20-yard line. That is a first down for the Stamps, brought to you by Manitoba Teachers Society, working to help your kids achieve their goals. You just in that situation, you need a quarterback who can bail you out when you get 2nd and long, right? And Mayer has in no way shown he can be that guy.
Consistently.
Yeah. To me, that's a great part of the Bombers' running game is the offense can convert 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 9 if you get caught in it with the receivers and with Kalaris. And then Brady can pop one for 30 yards on 1st and 10.
Yeah, they can convert on the ground or in the air, right? So it's nice.
Van Trees with 1 kneel down. He will have a 2nd. One texter to 204-780-6868 says start over for 3rd-string quarterback. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was not the performance Terry Wilson would want to have.
It's been unfortunate. You know, what happened last week, and one quarterback got released, and all my instincts are telling me, unfortunately, the same fate will fall to Terry Wilson after this performance. So the search shall continue, I would guess. Don't you agree?
0's on the clock. Wilson's been good for 3 weeks. Today was not